Hi guys, this is Matthias, and I'm coming at you here with a video that will be focusing on the game mode Ignition. Now this is a new King of the Kill game mode that has a lot of similarities with the regular Battle Royale. But unlike the toxic gas that gradually forces all the players together into a smaller and smaller area, in Ignition what you need to do is to find yourself to a so-called safe zone, and you need to be within that safe zone when the detonation timer reaches 0. After the detonation has taken place, it says that you need to stay within the safe zone for another 30 seconds. Now me, I've never got out of the ring before that timer has ticked down, so I don't know what happens, but I'm assuming that you will just die. So now what I think that the devs had in mind when they introduced Ignition was to give us a more action-based King of the Kill experience. But to be honest, to me it's been a little bit of the opposite actually. Maybe it's just that I haven't really got the hang of this game mode as I'm making this video, but many times I found myself just frustrated over the fact that I wasn't able to find the loot that I wanted before I was forced into engagements, and the same seemed to be the case with a lot of the people that I killed whenever I was able to get my hands on a good weapon in the early game. So now with the update that gave us Ignition, there was a lot of other changes that was made as well, and one of the things that I noticed was that my performance was very diminished. Now in a situation like this, when there's only 2 players left and we're out in the middle of the forest, it looks like my performance is just fine, but it really isn't. Now, the most common way of measuring performance is to measure the frames per second. As a matter of fact, for us gamers, it's basically the only way we measure it. But only measuring frames per second is a very flawed way of measuring performance. I've seen several explanations about this from very knowledgeable people, and even if I only know a fraction of what they're talking about, should I try to explain this, it would just take too much time. Now speaking of time, by the way, one of the things that I think is really strange is that we have to wait for a whole minute after the game is over. Maybe you can just leave and get your reward anyway, but at least this first time I wanted to see what I would get. And maybe that's a really exciting reward, I don't know. So now because of the map size in H1Z1 and because of how Ignition plays out, in this game mode you are very dependent on your vehicles. Now for some of you guys who might have some trouble with driving, this might be a massive problem when you play this game, but for me, who for a long time has been recognized as the best driver in the H1Z1 community, I guess it goes without saying that I have no issues with this whatsoever. Now in order to develop the unique and epic driving skills that only I have, you need to put a lot of focus into how you know what guys, I'll get back to you on that with my upcoming driving tutorial. Now after the ignition has taken place, the helicopter that hovers above it will drop a loot crate in the center of where the circle was. Now this loot crate can contain a number of different things. You'll find medkits, ammo, weapons, fuel, and a lot of other things. But a new item that you might find that wasn't in Battle Royale is a wrench. And this can be very valuable depending on what condition your car is in. Now there's nothing new about wrenches in H1Z1. In the survival mode that is now called Just Survive, we have had wrenches since launch. Now a wrench will take up 50 bulk in your inventory, and the way you use it in order to repair a car is by hitting the car with a wrench, just like you see me doing here. So now a lot of people are asking a lot of people what they think about this new update. And I have received this question several times myself, and to be honest, I'm not all that happy about it. Now I would have hoped, and I actually thought that I would enjoy Ignition a lot more than I did these last couple of days. I played it both on test just before it went live, and now that I played it on the live servers for a while, I'm a bit surprised over my reaction to it, because when I tested it on the test server about a month or 2 ago, I enjoyed it a bit more. Not really sure what has changed, except for the fact that the performance has become worse, and that is definitely not acceptable in a game that has had so many performance issues as H1Z1 has had. Now, on top of the few things that I've mentioned, there has been a lot of changes, and I'm not going to cover them all, but one of the things that a lot of people have had a lot of opinions about are the new sounds. I believe the most noticeable and the most discussed sound is the new sound to the AR-15. Now, just like with most changes in life and in games, some people like the changes, others don't. But for what I've heard from my buddy Dan, the guy that's been helping me a lot with my new Twitch channel and with, well, a whole bunch of things actually, the new air sounds are very realistic. Now, unlike me, Dan has a lot of real life experience with this weapon, so my opinions about this sound is, well, I really don't care that much. And holy shit, look at how this guy drives. What a noob, huh? Get on my level. Oh yeah, by the way, did I mention something about sounds earlier?
China number one.
Taiwan number one.
Really, Daybreak? I don't even know what to comment on that. Now, have you enjoyed Ignition and or the changes that came with the update? Whatever you think about it, please share it with the rest of us in the comment section below. I'll leave you with a few more minutes of gameplay here, and I want to thank you all for watching.
Lol, GG.
GG.
Oh, Matthias. Hello.
Yo, man.